Welcome to the Honda DreamLab channel. I'm Sarah, your host, and here we are with an all-new episode of Dream It Yourself, a series where we give an artist 100 minutes to design something cool. And today we have a special guest, Mike Cherman. He is the founder and designer of the famous streetwear brand that you guys may all know, Market.
Happy to be here. Happy to have a chance to design something inspired by Honda.
Throughout the episode, we'll have some fun trivia questions where you might get more time or you might get a penalty.
I'll probably get a lot of penalties.
Let's not manifest that. So are you ready to find out what we're doing today?
I don't know if I'm ready, but let's do it. Okay.
Hot off the press.
I'm excited to cook something up, make something kind of cool, and hopefully something that you guys all want to wear. You know, everything that I love about Honda, whether it's like classic JDM, whether it's, just the fact that it's like, just like very from Japan, and like for me, being someone in streetwear, that's always deeply at the core, something that we always love.
You're basically super confident with 100 minutes.
I think we can handle this.
So,
it'll be a lot of fun to also give you guys some like little tips and tricks and things that I think you guys can all use to be able to do this at home, to be able to start your own brand and to be able to access, the kind of tools that I think for me were really hard to access. And I think nowadays it's about unlocking that back door and saying, how can these kids come in and challenge the status quo, what's possible now? So, we've begun to kind of pull up some of the graphics and like be able to kind of start to lay out at least some of the concept. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's about even starting with, something as simple as, basic design icons. For me, Honda being a global brand, but something that I wanted to really, kind of honor the classic history and where it's from. And so I think for me, it's kind of doing something that maybe could be, made in Japan or inspired by, all the things that I love about the brand. A lot of times for me with, this process, it's all about kind of just riffing. A lot of times I will like jump on Google, I'll go find like, old, icons and graphics that I really love. Right. Even for me, like, I love a lot of like the OG vintage Honda gear, which spans through racing, through, BMX, through like so many different worlds. Right. So to me, with stuff like this, it's like, cool, we have such a rigid kind of graphic up top, so we want to make sure that we actually balance it out with something that's a little bit more rounded. That's kind of the fun part of this and how we can make things feel more natural rather than always coming it up from a computer. And I think exactly what Tenten said, where it's like softening it up a little bit. It's definitely all about not making things feel so new, because I think when we all live in this digital world, it's so easy to be surrounded by things that are all perfect.
I used to live in Japan for a year and then I forgot everything.
Yep.
And then I can only read hiragana, but I just remembered everything and I don't know. So I think that's she.
Yep.
It is she, right?
I actually don't know. I Googled
Did
it.
you type this?
I found it on the internet.
Wait, what does this mean?
This is Honda in Japanese.
Oh,
Exactly.
Oh, this is
When I moved from New York to California when I was a freshman in high school, I basically had no friends. I had a computer and I, started buying printer paper and, just like pressing t-shirts in my house. And really, like that's where it started. I found my local shop. I was basically bringing them a bunch of different, t-shirt concepts. And then from there, I was like trying to sell them to them on consignment. But looking back, it was just so funny because I just like had no idea what I was doing. None of the t-shirts sold. So, it's like even learning experiences like that really helped to shape me in everything that I, kind of started to build as a kid.
Let's run the pit stop. We have fun trivia questions along the 100 minutes that he is making this, and he gets either a reward or a penalty. Which file format is commonly used for saving transparent images?
Luckily,
A, PNG, B, JPEG, C, TIFF, D, GIF. Okay, wait, sorry, question, pause. Do you say GIF or GIF?
GIF. GIF though I like saying just because I like to be like annoying about it, but like.
Is it GIF?
It's GIF. I mean, it's like tomato. But it's things like obviously PNG deep down. That's always like, especially for the internet age, that's the way you're gonna be able to post things go from your computer straight into your phone, be able to post something with a transparent background, whereas things like TIFF, etc., is better for like sending files from computer to computer. Yeah.
Got it right, no penalty for you.
Love it, thank God. That feeling when you get something that was a grail as a kid, those pair of sneakers, that item, even like when your parents got a new car and that new car smell, and like,
yes.
I'll never forget, those moments as a kid. And like, those are the things I'm constantly trying to unlock, especially when it's through like, the graphic approach. How can I make it feel or look like something that I grew up as a kid loving? And a lot of times like that's the fun part here, is like trying to tap into that feeling, and like,
Exactly.
it's very intangible in a way. I just was inspired as a kid. I wasn't a amazing illustrator. I can't draw for crap. You know, ultimately for me, it's, you know, it's something that I think is a challenge, but I think kids should all know out there that, you know, get a light box. You can find your kind of like ways around learning something, even if you don't have that direct skill immediately as a kid. There's ways to foster that talent, because if you have the drive and the aspiration, that will always, you know, match up to someone who has just the pure talent, but doesn't have the motivation to want to be there.
What I really like about what inspired you is basically you could identify all your feelings from childhood of what made everything great around you, and then apply that into your art, into your what you want to do, into your business. Trivia question. The question is, what does the term weeding refer to in a vinyl printing?
It's not something dangerous, guys. So, you know, weeding is kind of like the removing of excess materials. So anytime that you've seen like someone make vinyl for windows, where like you have a store window display, that always starts off as a huge roll of vinyl. And then they basically have a machine that is cutting it out, you know, using all of the blades on the machine informed by a computer. That thing then makes the vinyl, and then I use a little tool. It looks a lot like an X-Acto blade, but with a little hook on it.
He's going with B, is that correct?
Let's do it.
Congrats.
Let's go. So the first thing that I'll kind of do here is begin to, you know, take the shirt out. I'll get everything kind of, you know, mocked up, and I'll take you guys through the process. I'm gonna take this first, you know, kind of Honda graphic that I have over here. We're gonna take this, I'm gonna bring it over to the actual t-shirt, and we're actually gonna lay this down as our first graphic.
Hey, have you ever put a waffle? Like,
you know what? I've definitely thought about making a panini with this, but, you know, ultimately, I think it would make all my t-shirts smell like pepperoni or something.
Is this the temperature?
Yes, so it's at 300 degrees right now. It presses for 12 to 13 seconds.
Oh, and it has a timer on.
Exactly. So then you'll see, like, you know, that's what we're paying the extra $500 for, is like this thing to pop up on its own. We lay it down. I let it cool a little bit because this baby can burn my hands. I'm gonna kind of lay in a little bit of this like made-in concept. It's one of my favorite like kind of small graphics. Let's do a little pit stop.
Let's take a break. Question is, typically the temperature range needed to transfer vinyl onto fabric is degrees Fahrenheit. Ooh, I know this one.
D.
Oh.
Wait, am I wrong? I hope I'm not wrong.
Wait, I swear I just asked you this. I just asked you this.
This is a nuanced one, guys. So I'm gonna actually bend the arm of the people who made the answers here. It's C and D.
But
we're gonna go with C.
Okay. Yay, you got it right.
100%. This is, I think, a really important one as a graphic designer, is to remember that not everything should feel like it came from the same hand. You know, so in this graphic, what you're seeing here is like very perfect graphic with like this softened dream. You got this classic stamped-like graphic with made in Japan, but then both the globe right here on the right with lab and this cherry are both very hand-drawn. Guys, I worked at a taco shop in high school, so let's be real. I don't think I was ever actually a designer until I told people that I was a designer.
If you do like all these sort of pieces and then let's say one messed up, you gotta do the whole shirt again,
100%.
right?
And it's the most humbling moment of like anything is, we're just doing it and not even realizing that you like messed it up, you know? And so I think it's like the humbling but fun part of all of this process is that, you know, as we've built this, guys, like, you know, we've ended up making something that is really a fun composition. It really plays in this idea of cut and paste. It's really an homage to like, you know, tattoo sheets, flash sheets, and things that I grew up as a kid, you know, being around as I was living in New York City, but really kind of like hits all these different elements.
Should we do one finished touch on this, like a H logo? I feel like you forgot that logo.
Yeah, I think that's actually a good idea. Okay.
I'm curious where you're gonna creatively just throw that on. Wow.
Oh wow, that came off perfectly.
Oh wow.
Cool.
He's done,
we have
guys.
2 minutes. We got the craziest shirt we possibly could.
Wow, that's fire.
This one, obviously you can tell, like this one, more classic t-shirt. or something that you would see in a store, something that you would imagine as an actual drop that you would see on a, on Market's website. This doesn't take much to be a part of. This doesn't take much to be a creative, and it doesn't take much to start your own business. It's just being willing to keep on going in the face of adversity.
I want you guys to help me, thank Mike Cherman for being here, the founder and designer of, the famous street band that we all know, Market, and he created this t-shirt, basically killed the challenge in 100 minutes, and then he also freestyled and went all out. I want to thank him for joining us today as our guest. We're honored.
Thank you so much.
I will see you guys next episode.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me.
Bye.